Okay, so I've just hit the charity shops and there's definitely one item that should bag me over £40 and I paid less than a tenner for it. But there's also one item that potentially I've taken a gamble on, taken a little bit of a risk, which could cost me money. It's Tuesday, it's my day off to do the reselling. I wanted to go to Hunstanton, but I left my bank card at home. So I ended up not going into Hunstanton and just going into King's Lynn. So I spent around £70 on 15 items, but this is the big build now to the summer, so lots of shorts. Okay, let's get to it. Actually, my first item is a vintage snipe. It's Fat Face Arlie. I got it for about £8 off of Vinted. The earlies sell for $24.95 on eBay. They tend to do really well for me. It's a nice colour block on this. Got pockets. If you look there, that's the label you're looking for the early. These do really well. It's in a size large, so it should be pretty sellable. This was pretty decent. You probably can't see. Well, you can't see because the layout tag's there, but this is a Patagonia t-shirt. It says there, Patagonia. Organic cotton. The reason I picked this up, and I'm not picking up t-shirts at the minute because I'm inundated with them and they are slow sellers, but I picked it up because it was $3.50 and it's Patagonia. I should expect 15 to 20 back on that. This was nice. It's an all blacks, vintage, 2006 or something like that. But I noticed it was old. I've sold old rugby jerseys before and they tend to do really well. So even though it had some cracking here, I looked at the tags. They're old Adidas tags, especially the one inside there. The cost was pretty low, it's £5. If it was clean, I've got a little mark here and it didn't have the crack in, that would go for £40 plus, but I reckon I can get 25 for that with the crack in and the marks. This might have been a mistake. So it's Ted Baker coat. Now Ted Baker tends to be very, very slow for me and not go for a great deal, but it was $6.95. Normally coats, you're looking at around £12 in a charity shop for a coat, so actually it might be all right. Pretty lightweight. It's got the top pocket. It's got the big pockets at the bottom, so we might get away with calling it a chore coat. Chore is an excellent keyword. If you haven't already, go and check Selling with Sully. His channel is like an absolute geyser of knowledge. Keywords, he's massive on keywords, and I'm only just starting to get back into them. I was using Listing Monster for a while, and they sort of negate any keywords. There's hardly any keywords. They auto-generate the title. But I'm getting back on it, and I am seeing an uptick in my impressions on eBay, so it's massive, absolutely massive. Another potential mistake. However, you know, it is short season, but I think this brand is more recognised in America and in the States. But there's a pair of J. Crew chino shorts, size 33, so not big size, but they were £1.50. So that's probably not a massive mistake. The only issue is we do not want to be storing items, we want to be selling them. You really need to focus on sell-through rate, items that sell quickly, because the more stock that sticks, the less room you've got, the less cash flow you've got to buy more. So slow sell-through is a big no-no. Another potential mistake. However, I have sold these on Vinted. Mods love them. A really good keyword for any sort of Ben Sherman shirt, especially these check shirts, is mod scooter. They tend to do well because in the 60s, Quadrophenia style, like all the mods were wearing Ben Sherman. Some Ben Sherman jackets, the Harrington jackets, can do quite well. Cost £2. So I would look on Vinted to try and get 12 back relatively quickly on that. Bit hit and miss with this brand, No Fear. I remember it from when I was a kid in the 90s, and it was quite popular with the skaters. But I got these because they're summer appropriate. They're kind of 3/4 lengths. They kind of got that skater feel to it. You know, the front pockets, they're a bit different. They're not just a general pair of jeans. £4.50 for those. I'll aim for $24.95. Whether or not I'll get them, I might have to sit on it a while, which we don't want to be doing. But I just thought they were really cool item. 2 pairs of Levi's. The reason I picked them up because they are a really small waist. They're a 27 waist, which, as you know, we need to be aiming for the bigger waists. They're Levi's Premium. So if you look at this. Tag, this leather tag, is different to the normal Levi's leather tag. Also, you got a big E on the red tab. So they're slightly better quality. They're in outstanding condition as well. Someone who's a 27-inch waist, they'll love these. But we'll aim with these for $24.95. I'll generally take offers on items that are up for $24.95. If I'm getting 20 quid for them, I'm not too fussed, because the cost of them was £6, so I'm still making my money. But ideally, we want to try and sell $24.95 and above, which is a massive mistake that I was making. Buying cheap items, I bought 100 Tommy Hilfiger jumpers for £4 a jumper, thinking, oh, I can't lose money on those. The sell-through of Tommy Hilfiger jumpers is slow for even the kind of good pieces. In that mix from the wholesaler, there was loads and loads of the thin V-neck jumpers. Lots of them had marks on them. So I'm now stuck with a loft full of Tommy Hilfiger jumpers. So it's one of the big reasons why I'm taking a sidestep away from wholesale, because you don't get to see what you're going to get, and 9 times out of 10 you'll get 4 or 5 really good pieces, and then you'll get 20 pieces that you can't even wipe your butt with. The Tommy Hilfiger jumpers are exactly the type of mistake that I break down in my book. You don't want cheap items sitting in boxes up in the loft. You want stock that's going to turn and turn and turn, so you can skim that little bit off of the top and then reinvest. If you buy cheap and it sits, you can't do that. You can't do it at scale. I think my favourite pickup today, though, is I went into a shop that I normally don't buy anything out of because it's expensive. Got these really hefty, size 2XL, so probably my size, but they're a bit long for me. Size 2XL Helly Hansen Salopettes. But these were £5.50. They're the Helitech. They've got the elastic here and the hook to hook onto boots or whatever. And they cost me £5.50. And I checked comps, and I'll try and add comps on the video. They should sell for $44.95. Bosh. If you want the full breakdown of how I built this, first chapter of my book is in the link. I've recorded an audio version of it, so help yourself, have a listen. There's lots of really good tips in there. For anyone who's wanting to start out reselling, go for it.